Ladies and gentlemen, we are just days away from the premier gaming event of the year. E3 2018 is slated to start on June 12th in Los Angeles, and the industry is already buzzing in anticipation. Engadget will of course be live on the show floor to bring you the latest and greatest in electronic entertainment. But here's what we're most excited to see. Microsoft admitted late last year that its first-party game offerings were rather thin, so we are hoping for some good news in terms of exclusive Xbox content at the show. Based on Walmart Canada's recent advertising snafu, there's a very good chance we'll see a new Forza Horizon and Gears of War iteration during Microsoft's show on Sunday. Rare's Sea of Thieves made a splash when it debuted earlier this year, and we're expecting updates for that as well. Additionally, we've got even money on updates from Compulsion Games, We Happy Few, and Moon Studios, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And be sure to tune into the Microsoft E3 keynote. We're hoping for more information on third-party titles like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the recently delayed Metro Exodus, and EA's open-world shooter, Anthem. Oh, and we've got to get some news on Crackdown 3. It's still slated for a release in spring, and we're in June right now. We wouldn't be surprised if Xbox chief Phil Spencer just tells the world it's out now and releases it to Game Pass subscribers during E3 week. Sony will have plenty to crow about at this year's trade show. The company is already riding high on the success of God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, and Detroit: Become Human. We're expecting some satisfyingly deep dives on upcoming titles like Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, and Spider-Man during Sony's keynote. Existing franchises like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Destiny 2 are also expected to get some on-stage love, and we wouldn't be surprised if Sony showed off some new PSVR games there as well. This year, we'll be broadcasting Sony's big event live on Engadget, so why not watch along with us for some color commentary? Moving on from that shameless plug, nobody is slated to have a bigger showing at this year's E3 than Nintendo. The Switch is selling like hotcakes, and Nintendo has confirmed Super Smash Bros. Will be heavily featured, and there's even a tournament in LA during E3 week, which should be wild. Star Fox is rumored to make a return at E3, this time in a Diddy Kong racing-style game reportedly titled Star Fox Grand Prix. And while we haven't heard much about these titles recently, Nintendo should make good on all the games it teased last year. We're talking Metro Prime for Switch, Pokemon for Switch, Yoshi for Switch, Fire Emblem for Switch, literally everything for Switch. Third-party developers are also set for some big announcements at this year's E3. Bethesda already announced Rage 2 following the Walmart leak, but we should hear a lot more about its post-apocalyptic shooter during its press conference. We may well see some news about DLC for Prey, more on Quake Champions, and the company's VR plans. The odds on a new Elder Scrolls game aren't exactly great, but it's been a long time since Skyrim, so stranger things have happened. Building off of last year's success with Beyond Good and Evil 2, many are anticipating that Ubisoft will unveil a new Splinter Cell title at this year's event. There's always a chance we'll see a new Assassin's Creed game, and we'd love it if Ubi showed Rayman some love. Japan's Square Enix should have some exciting news for JRPG fans as well. Dragon Quest XI is due out in July, so expect a ton on that, as well as news about the Life is Strange sequel and perhaps Just Cause 4. And of course, what E3 would be complete without dreams of Kingdom Hearts 3? It was first announced at E3 2013 and scheduled to actually come out this year, so we're expecting to play it there. What about more information on the long-awaited Final Fantasy VII remake? It'd be long overdue, and we'd hope for at least some new footage during either Sony or Square's conference. Of course, we can't confirm that every one of these titles will be revealed at this year's event, and there are bound to be some surprises along the way. But stay tuned to Engadget.com throughout the week for up-to-the-minute updates on everything E3.